Hello and welcome to the old farm countryside. At the request of a subscriber, I am doing a beginning to end video of pistachio orchards. Apparently he's been having a couple of problems. He's been setting up the orchard, doing all the bits and pieces and not getting any product. So let's go at it and see if we can find out what's happening. Right, so to set up the orchard, you just go into productions, orchards, and then pistachio comes up, the pistachio trees. You plant them just the same as you would grapes or olives. Just hold down the input button or input key, whichever way you're doing it, and drag it out until where you want to stop. And then in my case I'm using a controller. I press the A key, so the input key, and it stops, and then take it back to the beginning where you want the next row and just continue doing that. I am leaving quite a bit of space here because I'm going to do a few different options. So the first line will be, or the first row will be everything that I can do to it. The second one will be nothing done to it besides planting it, of course. The next one will be just ploughing or cultivating, and the one after that will be just fertilizing. And we'll just have a little look to see what the production is, or the result is, from each of those. I did do a fourth row because I thought there would be mulching that needed to be done, but as you'll see, that for some reason doesn't seem to be working. With the mulching aspect doesn't seem to have any effect, any change. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but as we go through it you'll see what I mean. Right, so to get all the implements that are required, you go down to, well, I just go to the collective buying, I don't know what you call them, but where you can buy things for one specific operation. Choose the olive operation, so it's the little box on the shop, on the store, and you can buy implements from there. So we've bought the Landini tractor, and then if you scroll to the end of that, you'll see that there are some specific mods for almonds and pistachios. So I've used those and bought those for use in the orchard. I haven't tested to see whether the normal ones will work, but I will presume that they don't work, because you'll see the mulcher is not specially modded and it doesn't work, and also there would be no reason to make the mod if the standard base game operation would work. So yeah, those. I did buy the standard mulcher that was in that pack, and this is it. We're just going to go and I'll just show you what happens when we mulch with this. So I just go through the whole lot, and in my opinion it's not actually mulching. It's a little bit difficult to tell, but there's no change in the textures, so by that I would infer that it is actually not mulching. I'll show you once we get back to the top. I've just done it to make sure that it is done on the first one. Let's get it going. Yeah, so this, as you can see as we're driving through, I can't see any change to any of the textures. I will show you what I was kind of expecting it to do. I'll just yes, I was expecting that to be different. So if you, this is where we should have mulched, or where we have mulched, and I can't see any difference between that and this, which I know is definitely not mulched. It looks pretty much the same to me. And yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. Now this is a specialized implement, or a specially modded implement for the old farm countryside, and you'll see that it is actually cultivating kind of between the tufts of grass, which is what I would have expected. That's kind of how it happens when we do grapes and olives. I mean, the actual operation is pretty simple. Yeah, there you can see how the textures change between the tufts of grass. Let's just do this from end cab, so you can get a feeling of what it is like to drive through the branches. No reason why we can't have a bit of fun while we're doing this as well. Just about done. Right. So we'll just hop along to, not the next one, the row after that, and we'll go and cultivate that as well. I didn't run through the whole thing, we've seen it before, so just the beginning and the end. So now we have the first row, which is mulched or not, and is cultivated. We'll get the fertilizing done. It's got some liquid fertilizer, and this fertilizer is also a modded version specifically for the old farm countryside. And you will see as we fertilize, it is also pretty obvious that it is fertilizing as such, as you can see by the change in texture. Now I did wonder whether we'd have to do both sides, but you don't, because you can see that the texture has changed across the whole of the tree base and the little sort of grassed area. Of course, ideally, when you're playing the map, you would build some roads, or you could even plant crops between the trees, or between the rows, should I say. So we'll go and just do the second last row. Just fertilize that, so this row will be just fertilized, it won't be cultivated, and we'll just see what the different results are. Interesting how it switches on and off when it comes to each tree. So even though it is showing fertilized between the trees, it just seems to actually spray the trees. Fantastic little animation, that. Yeah, so there we go, showing it's growing. Right, so that planting was done in March. I forgot to mention that planting is March, April and May for the pistachios, and harvest is in October. So I'm just fast forwarding time through the months, and you can see nothing much changes for the first couple of months. Still showing foliage. We're now in July. So in August now. Foliage is still on. Coming into September now. There you can see that foliage starts to disappear. Sorry, that was August. September now. That's just bare trees. I did slow down the time a little bit, slowed it down a bit too much. We'll speed it up again through the night. Now as we're going into October, you'll see in the gloom that something happens to the trees. So just keep an eye in the gloom just after midnight. Just keep an eye on it. It's a little bit difficult to see, but it is noticeable. So we're still in September. Should be changing pretty soon. Just building up the tension a bit. Right, so we go through midnight. At midnight itself, not much change. But then now you can see that there's been what looks like some new foliage. On the trees, so something has definitely happened. We'll wait for it to get light to find out exactly what. So we've pretty much gone through the whole cycle now, and we will now find out whether we actually have any product to harvest. It's the dawn of the harvest month. Very nice scene, so it's pretty much autumn. Trees are changing. Right, let's get down from our lofty perch in the sky and let's go and see what's happening down there. Touchdown! Here we go, let's have a look and see. Yeah, so there's definitely product on there. So this is the first row. Definitely pistachios on there, showing us ready to harvest. Let's have a look at the one where we did nothing, so we just planted these. Yeah, there's product on there as well. And this is the one where we just cultivated, and product on there as well. This is one where we just fertilized, product on there as well. And this has also had nothing to do with it, which has product on it. Yeah, so let's get harvesting that. And the harvester is in miscellaneous, and you get a specially modded harvester there as well. Here it is there, 6,700, one for almonds as well. This gets put onto a front-end loader and just shakes the bejesus out of the tree. There we go. Let's put it onto Kubota. I think you need a slightly stronger tractor than, I don't know, I suppose you could do with a small Landini. I didn't try it. Maybe it works better, because I always find it a little bit difficult to find the exact shake spot of each tree. But yeah, it's reasonably easy to do. It's just, as I say, finding the sweet spot when you're actually shaking the tree. Basically just put it doesn't have a crash base, sometimes you just drive through and you'll notice that the trees slightly change colour when the product is harvested, and down the bottom you'll see 80 odd kilos into the catcher. So what I've done is I've just harvested the first 3 trees of each row. So this is the row that we've had everything done to it, and we'll see what the result is and compare it to the other rows. That's the third tree. I won't show that for each row, I'll just show you what the results are for the other rows. As I say, sometimes it can take me a little while to get each tree to give up its product. As to empty this, you just lift it up and it acts like a vehicle. It'll give you a prompt to unload it instead of tipping it or anything like that. So you should be able to take it straight into a sale point, I would think, as well. Right, so that was 284 litres from the first 3 trees there. Then the second row, which was just cultivated, was 244 litres. The third row, which was the second was 224, was nothing had been done to it, and the third one was just cultivated, which was 248, and the fourth one was just fertilized, and that gave us 260 litres. So yeah, fertilizing seems to be the main increase in production. Well, we're just going to deliver that, and that's where we're going to end this little video. Thank you so much for watching. If you found it informative and enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And if you require me to do any others, just drop me a line. Cheerio.